All right, ma'am. Now today you had an issue at your house today. Tell us a little bit about that.
About 4:15, 4:17 this morning, I have 3 dogs outside in the kennel and a bulldog inside. The dogs outside were barking really loud, and my dog inside, who hardly ever barks, started going from the front to the back door barking. I presumed it would be a deer or a bear because we've had sightings of both at our residence because it's very, very out in the woods. I walked to the front door and reached behind it to turn the porch light on. As I opened the door, I heard footsteps on my front porch. I ducked back behind the door, and a man opened my door and walked in. A man I did not know.
Now, ma'am, you said you did not notice, man. Is there any reason you can think of why he would be at your house early in the morning?
He was messed up on something, you could tell once I opened the door. I have seen him on the dirt road where we live, but he had never been to my residence. I've never spoke to him before. When I saw who it was, I could tell by looking at him that he was not in a good frame of mind.
Now, did he try to accost you or try to harm you in any way?
No. I started immediately talking to him because no one else was awake, and I called him by his name, and I told him that he needed to go home. He didn't live there. He lives several residences away through the woods, and he got very frustrated and wild-eyed, like he was angry at that point, and I stayed behind the door. Started flailing his arms around like he was really upset and mad, and finally I told him, I said, I've got to close the door, you're going to let my dog out. Finally he stepped back out the door, and I thought, well, he's leaving, and as I started out from behind the hardwood door to reach for the door handle, he came back in, and in a very disorderly manner, I guess you'd describe it as, started telling me, I'm sorry, it was an honest mistake. And I reached out to the table that's beside the recliner to get my cell phone, and he took off running up the hill.
Now, you said he stays in your neighborhood?
He's supposed to live in that neighborhood.
And you said, now, do you feel that maybe he just you say he was confused, maybe under the influence of drugs? Do you think maybe he thought that he was home?
I don't know. I really don't know what he was thinking. I know that he was not even acting like just a normal drunk person. I've seen them. He wasn't acting just like a normal drunk. He was very wild-eyed looking. He didn't have a shirt on. He had on blue jeans and cowboy boots.
And this was at shortly after 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Now, ma'am.
4:20.
Now, ma'am, did you call the police afterwards?
Yes, sir. I immediately dialed 911. The first responding officer looked behind my house and told me that he would turn it in to Pickens County CID, the detectives. At that point, I was very frustrated. I didn't think that anything was going to be done because I told him, hey, they live right up there. Go get him. That deputy took a report and left, and 10 minutes later a car left from that residence because I wasn't going to sleep. I called 911 again and told them they just took him out of here. They know he's done something wrong. It's in his relative's house. They did not find the car at that point. Shortly after 7, another deputy, Officer Van Alstyne, showed up at my front door and told me that they had found him at a residence that is less than 1 mile from my house, and that he already had outstanding warrants, and that they were preferring new charges against him, and that he probably wouldn't be returning back to the residence. I guess that's made me feel better because I've been really frustrated. I have medical problems. I don't have one eye, and I have diabetes, and my sugar was very elevated after the adrenaline and everything, and he put my health in a great deal of danger just by his own actions.
Now, do you live alone, ma'am?
No, sir. I have 2 teenage sons and David. And the only ones that were there at that point was me and the 16-year-old.
And so obviously you were concerned for you and your family's safety.
Yes, sir. Well, the 16-year-old never even woke up. He had his bedroom door closed and a fan on, and he never even woke up. And at that point, if the man had been going to harm me, I would have been found.
Now, now you say that has he been arrested to your knowledge?
Yes, sir. Officer that came out the second time told me that they already had him in custody.
And has that made you feel more comfortable since the ordeal this morning?
That makes me feel better, but I don't know, if he can find out what he can do. And once you get a criminal into trouble, they usually try to retaliate, although it was by no fault of my own. I was sleeping in my own bed. No, sir, I sat beside my front door with my pistol for almost 5 hours, just afraid that he would come back.
Well, ma'am, I hope that everything works out, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. And we here at FetchYourNews.com will keep an eye on it and try to find out if there are any new developments.
Yes, sir. I would appreciate that a lot, because I doubt that they would allow me to, but I would like to be in the courtroom when he tries to explain to a judge why he walked into my residence at 4:17 in the morning.
I believe you can. I believe a trial would be a public event, so you should be able to attend that. But obviously, I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think you would be. But I just want to say again, I'm sorry that happened, and I hope it all works out for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.